Hi, I'm Ben from Sports Shoes and I'm here with Alice from HOKA, our resident product expert, who's going to talk us through the brand new HOKA Rocket X2. And wow, look at this shoe. Alice, is the hype real?
It is indeed. This is sort of bringing us into that super shoe market that we know that we've been able to compete against other brands in for a long, long time, and it's really stepping us up into that next level of super shoe.
So you used a term there, super shoe. This is HOKA's version of the super shoe, isn't it? So
It is.
Compared to other brands, this is the one that's going to elevate you in terms of road racing performance. Key features, let's start with those.
So we've got a 1mm carbon fibre plate sat right in the middle of the midsole, which you can see just exposed underneath. We've got a supercritical PEBA foam, both above and below that plate as well. We've got the blown rubber in the areas we know where it's needed, but we're minimising that in order to strip back the weight. And then we've got a chassis-inspired upper with engineered mesh and 3D printing. So that's just giving you the support in the areas that you know it's required, but minimising on any extra weight. So it's really focusing on that front of the pack performance that we want people to be experiencing.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And you know, when we look at new shoes that come out and we compare them to the predecessors and the versions that have come before, often not much changes. With this, I feel it's a massive change. I mean, it might as well be a completely different shoe. I know it is, but named a different shoe to the original Rocket. I mean, when you look at them both, when you pick them both up, obviously they're both very lightweight, but they look completely different. So let's talk about the differences between the two, and we'll start with the upper because there's quite a few to talk about.
Yeah, so it's really exciting updates. I think like even looking at them now, like the main similarities that are left behind are just the colorways. But actually, what we can see in the upper, we've got the anatomically constructed tongue in the new Rocket X in comparison to the old. So that's just sitting around your tibialis anterior tendon at the front of your ankle and just taking any pressure off of that. We've stripped back and we've just put the cushioning around the heel cup in the areas we know it's needed.
It's a different material
It's a different material
Yeah.
to the original completely. You've got 3D printing in both of our logos on the outside of the shoe, and then you've got a chassis-inspired cage inside, so you've got reinforcement through the medial side here as well, which extends around the toe box and then to the lateral side as well, and then you've got a breathable engineered mesh upper there as well.
Wow, so lots of changes, and I can actually physically see that much has changed. I can see where you've stripped back everything. It's a much lighter shoe, I think now, isn't it, than the one before? And you can tell it's a real racing shoe. It's built for speed as this one, so you could even see when you hold it up to the light almost through in fact you can see through the upper, whereas on the original version it was a little bit thicker, and it's been a complete redesign.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about the plate, and if we move on to the midsole and the outsole, we can see that it's obviously exposed now in this new shoe, which is on this side here with the orange outsole. So just tell me about the reason for opening up this shoe so we can see the carbon plate inside.
Yeah, so it just allows you to have that confidence that that plate is there, as well as just stripping back part of that midsole just to save on the weight there as well. So it's just keeping the weight down where we know we can do it, because actually it's more beneficial to have a lighter weight shoe for that performance element. And
looking at the outsole itself, the new version, this orange outsole, looks a lot grippier than the original Rocket.
So we've got slight changes in the traction grooves, because we know that there's always the risk of it raining on race day. So that just provides athletes with a little bit more confidence that that shoe's going to carry them the whole way through. And then also just because it is essentially the heaviest part of our race shoe, we've just put it in the areas we know it's needed. So we have heard from feedback from athletes before that actually we needed a little bit more than what we had in the past.
So lots of updates.
Yeah.
Lighter, you know, more grip. We've obviously got the carbon plate in there that's been exposed. Different foam in the midsole?
So we've got two changes in the midsole, one both with the material and the geometry. So we've got a supercritical PEBA foam in this. So it is an expensive process, and that's sort of reflected in the price of it. But what that means is that we've got a lighter and more resilient midsole foam. And then we've got a more exaggerated meta rocker. So you've got a bigger drop from the forefoot to the ground and the heel to the ground. So that's really encouraging you to move the whole way through your gait cycle and maintain your momentum and keep you moving forward with each step.
Excellent. And let's position this shoe. It's obviously a super shoe. It's built for racing. Is it for everybody? Can anybody wear this shoe?
We pitch it at our elite races. We know that those who are going at a faster speed are able to put more energy into a carbon plate in order to get more back out of it and have that sort of benefit. It does mean that everyone can still wear it because there's still that benefit that any racer can get from having a carbon plate in their shoe.
It's essentially the more force you put through the shoe, the more you're going to get back. And I think that's the way it works with super shoes, isn't it? And I mean, it's for anybody really that wants to get a PB, isn't it? And improve their performance within a race. It's not really a training shoe.
No, we like to say that it is a race day only shoe. It is designed and geared for performance. So if you are training for something like a marathon, it's always great to have an alternative shoe such as the Clifton or the Mac, and then on race day you transition to something in the Rocket where you really get that extra edge on the start line.
And just in terms of durability then, because with it being just a very lightweight racing shoe, how long would you expect a pair of shoes like this to last?
200 to 300 miles.
Okay, that's a fair reflection. So there we have it, the new HOKA Rocket X2. It's lightweight, it's fast, and it's available now from SportsShoes.com.